it'll hold up because it was still kind of mid-pack, and I'm like, there's some decent cars that still have a chance. And I said, do you think we'll have the pole winner, first guest in the morning? And sure enough, held all the way through. Yep. Great run. Driver of the 00 Aaron's Dream Machine, David Reutimann, how are you?
Thanks, and that's actually the reason I got the pole, because I knew I was coming on here today and I wanted to have something good to talk about. So
that's great.
I figured it's as good time as any to try to do it.
Well, awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about it. I mean, I know that yesterday a lot of people that were fast, that ran late, the wind picked up out here and kind of created a little bit of ruckus for them. But how was your run?
I mean, I think our run, car felt really, really good. Just I think we gave up a little bit of speed on the exit of 2, but I think 3 and 4 was really good for us. So we had a good Aaron's Dream Machine from the time we unloaded it. As far as the wind goes, it was gusting on and off all day, and certainly when we were practicing with the Nationwide cars on Thursday, it would just I can't believe how much the wind was gusting out there. So it's been windy all weekend, and it'll probably continue to be that way. But it is what it is. It worked out. I thought maybe an early draw was going to hurt us a little bit because we went out about 17th, and I thought the track was going to get a little cooler as it went, and speeds were going to pick up. But and after you go out there and you're sitting on the pole, then you have to wait for all those other guys to go. You have to wait for Jimmy Johnson and Mark Martin and all those guys to go, and you're just like, well, which one of those guys is going to come here and knock us off? So it was good. It was kind of nerve-wracking, but at the end, I was glad to get it over with, and it was a good lap, and it's definitely got a good starting position and a good pit selection.
Well, and this is a track that you've had success at. You like this track. You like racing here, don't you?
I love this racetrack. That's one of my favorite racetracks we come to. It's fast. There's places that we can run the top, run the bottom. And again, it's just an overall great facility, and the fans are just extraordinary when we come here. I mean, you have huge crowds for qualifying and practice even. So it's pretty amazing how the people around this area just support the racetrack, and it's good to see.
Good.
David, I want to ask you a question here. You're 11th in points right now, and you've had a pretty good season after 6 races. What are you guys doing that's making everything work out so great for y'all so far this year?
Yeah, I get that question a lot, and I think the main thing is last year, about the 3/4 mark, we started getting our newer generation cars built, and right away the cars we were bringing to the racetrack were better race cars. They were just an overall better piece, and we could unload, and the cars would react differently to changes, and the cars were lighter, and the weight was lower in them, and a bunch of other things. So, that being said, at that point, that was a big turning point for our organization. We were starting to build our own cars in-house and doing those things, kind of controlling our own destiny. Then the guys started getting their arms around the car and basically figuring out what it needed to be better, and they kept making it better and better. We had some good runs, had some decent runs towards the end of the year, and ended up with a pole at Homestead, the last race of the season. And I really felt at that point, if we could just work on some other things during the off season and make some subtle changes and work around some stuff, I felt like we could come out of the box and be pretty good this year. And again, it's not any one thing that we've done. It all comes down to the people at Michael Waltrip Racing, the support we have with Napa and Aaron's, and we have a great new teammate with Marcos Ambrose with JTG Daughtery Racing. He's been a welcome addition to our program as well. So we have right now three strong teams, and you have to look. It's not just a 00 car that just seems to be running well. It's all 3 cars in our organization. So I think that just shows how far the whole organization as a whole has come.
Well, and everyone's been talking about it since last week. Of course, the whole nickname, the franchise, which is interesting. And I'm trying to think. I know you said that. Long story short, you heard someone on the TV, a football player, and I'm thinking as soon as I heard it, I said it's either got to be Plaxico Burress or Terrell Owens. That's perfect. That just sounds like something that would roll out of their mouths. But how interesting, something that a lot of people, you said it as a joke, and your team went and put it up on your door and removed your name, has the franchise, and then you roll off here on the pole. You might need to keep that. It might be a little good luck charm.
I don't know. It's a bit embarrassing, so to speak, because it was just something that was supposed to be inside the shop. I mean, we had a good run at Vegas, and Monday morning we came in for a meeting, and I strolled across the shop floor, and Ty Norris with our organization was standing there. I was like, I'd heard it on TV, so I was like, well, one day I want to say that, in some sense. And so I said, Ty, you're looking at the franchise right here, pal. And he absolutely just doubled over with laughter, and that was the intent. It was just so ridiculous that, and that's what I said. So then at that point on, this has been a couple months ago, and from that point on, every time that we're in a meeting or something like that, I'll say, oh, good to see the franchise join us today, or there's always just an ongoing joke that it just, as you do in our sport, just try to keep things light, and never expected it to get out into the public, and it has, and we're still having a lot of fun with it, as long as people just realize that it's just something that's just completely ridiculous and funny, and just something you have to have fun in. Because sometimes it's hard to have fun in a sport with as much stress as there is.
Yeah, absolutely. Chip, my co-host Chip here. I know you've grown up kind of with the Reutimann name out there in Florida.
I sure did. I started going to the races at Golden Gate in Tampa.
Yeah.
I grew up in Temple Terrace right there.
Great.
Watching your dad and your uncle race. As a matter of fact, I guess there's already a Reutimann in the winner's circle this year.
Yeah.
I saw your dad won a couple weeks ago out at East Bay. But yeah, I'm excited. I've been following you ever since you started coming up, because I grew up watching y'all race at those tracks, and I was real excited to see you out here, and so I'm pulling for you. I'm glad to see you here, and I know everybody back home. I told them we were having you on the show today, so everybody's streaming live and listening to you down there in Tampa today too. So.
Oh, great! Yeah, that's Florida. I live in North Carolina now, but Florida's always been home. And Golden Gate Speedway, a great racetrack, raced at the Florida State Fairgrounds, and my dad just won the feature at East Bay Raceway last weekend at 67 years old. So he's still plugging away at it. So we got a lot of good stuff. We're having a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well,